Hi, welcome to the second part of the Apache Kafka presentation. So I'm going to demo how to run Apache Kafka and send messages using publishers and consume the messages using the consumer scripts. So this is my Cloudera VM environment. So you can download Kafka from the Kafka website and as a tarball, and you simply have to untar and you get a folder like this. So this is my Kafka folder. So if I go into this folder, you will find that there is a bin directory, config, libs and logs directories. So there is really no other installation. So all you have to do is change the configuration if you wanted to run many brokers. By default, it comes with one broker. So you have one server.properties file that comes by default. So if you wanted to add additional brokers, you need to add additional server properties files. So if I open a property file, so you'll find that each properties file has a broker ID. So in order to create the other files, you simply have to copy this file, change the broker ID and change the port numbers. So broker 0 runs in 1992 and broker 1 runs at 93 and 2 runs at 94. So you can create as many brokers as you want. And all of this is running in the local host. But given that Kafka supports a distributed environment, if you are running this in a real cluster, these could be completely different nodes, but running on the same port. So that's really the installation of Kafka and the configuration that you need to do. And the steps are more detailed in the project report that you can refer to. So besides Kafka, and Kafka comes with a version of Zookeeper. So there is really no changes that you have to do to the zookeeper.properties file. We'll run it with the default settings. So besides Kafka, like I mentioned previously, you need the Kafka client, and I'm using a Python client called Kafka Python, which you can download or you can install. Excuse me. You can install from command line using the pip tool, like pip install Kafka Python. Since I already installed it, I won't run this command again. So similarly, you need a client to talk to the Twitter API, and I'm using the Tweepy Python client. You can install that Python client very similarly using pip install Tweepy. So this is really all you need to before you can start running the scripts. So you need the Kafka, you need the Kafka Python client, and then the Python Twitter client. So once you have all of these installed, first you need to run Zookeeper. So this is the command to run the Zookeeper. There is a server start script and it's referencing the zookeeper.properties file. So I'll run the Zookeeper tool, and the Zookeeper is running and its default port at 2081 in the local host. So now I'll go and start the Kafka server, and this would be the broker 0. So the broker 0 has started and it's running at localhost 1992 port. I'll start the broker 1. So this broker is running at localhost 1993. And the third broker similarly will run at the localhost 1994. So now we have the Zookeeper running and 3 instances of the Kafka broker running. So the next thing I wanted to see is if there are any topics that's already available in these brokers. So I'm listing all the topics that are available from the Zookeeper, all the brokers connected to the Zookeeper, which is running at 2081. So you see, we have all these topics already created. I have created them already. In order to create a new topic, you simply have to run a command like this. So this shows you how to create the topic news. And so it's creating a topic referencing the Zookeeper instance with a replication factor of 3 because we are running 3 brokers and a partition 1. So we are not really having many partitions for the topic. Each topic has one partition and the name of the topic, which is news in this case. So I've created all the topics already. So we already have the Kafka running, the topics are created. Now it's ready to receive messages from the producers and consumers can read messages from this topic as soon as the messages are available. So I'll show you a sample of the producer and the consumer script. So this is a producer script. So as you can see, I'm using the Kafka package and I'm using the simple producer class and the Kafka client class. And this is the library from the TweePy. And these are the keys that you need, the keys and the tokens that you need to connect to the Twitter API. So in the real script, I have my real tokens. So this is basically a producer publishing messages to the broker 0, which is running at port 1992. So on the main, I'm basically instantiating the listener class and I'm authenticating the Twitter API and listening to that stream. So, and the stream is basically filtered for the top 50 Twitter accounts in the script, which is producer 1. And then in the next producer, I have the next 50 Twitter accounts. So from the listener class, as soon as there is data, so this method triggers, and in this method I'm basically looking for Twitter handles like in this case Katy Perry or Justin Bieber or Taylor Swift. If it's one of these Twitter handles, I'm basically sending that stream of data or the tweet into the music category. Similarly, looking at all the other Twitter handles, I'm classifying them or categorizing them and sending the messages to the corresponding topic in Kafka. A sample consumer script simply does connect to, it's using the Kafka consumer class and it's simply connecting to a topic, in this case music, and it's reading this messages from all the 3 different brokers. So as the messages become available in this topic, so this consumer will read the data from the commit log and it simply outputs it. But you can do anything with once you consume that message. And I have 3 consumers, one for music, one for social, and one for politics. Now let's go and run these scripts. So I'll run my consumer script now. So when I run the consumer script for music, I don't see anything in the output because there are no messages available in the topic yet. Now I'll go ahead and run my producer stream. Okay, so this is basically connecting to the Twitter API, and it's just outputting the data that's coming through the stream. So this stream basically has all variety of topics, all variety of tweets. So that's the producer. So on the consumer, you can see that this is a consumer for music topic. So you can see that, and this is the name of the topic, and this is the offset, which is basically the index of the messages that are being written to this topic. You can see that the consumer script only reads the messages from the music topic, and all the messages that you see are related to one of those Twitter handles, like um, Justin Bieber or Katy Perry or some other musicians. Okay, so I'll run the second stream or the producer, and for some reason the first one stopped, so let me run it again. Okay, so now we have two producers producing messages, and on the consumer side you have messages flowing from both these producers, because it all goes into the music topic, right? So now let me stop the first producer. So the first producer is stopped, and the second producer is still listening to or streaming data from Twitter. So there aren't a lot of musicians in the second 50 of the top 100 Twitter, so that's why you don't see the music tweets coming very often. Okay, there you go. So you saw a tweet coming from the second producer in this consumer music. And similarly, you can run a different consumer, in this case politics, which is reading from the politics topic. And you can see that producers 2 is still sending messages to the broker, and so this consumer reads all the politics topics. So this basically demonstrates that you have a variety of messages coming through the pipeline from the producers, and Kafka manages the different topics, and you can write consumer programs to read those topics and make use of it. So this is a very simple use case of Kafka. There is a lot more you can do with it, but for the scope of this project, I'll stop here. Okay, so in summary, so we tested Kafka using Twitter's live streaming API. So for the demo, I kept running the script for an hour, and I received about 1 GB of tweets, and it was replicated to 3 nodes, still it's found to be stable and reliable. I couldn't fully test the fault tolerance, like when I brought down one of the broker, um, I was expecting the consumers to switch over to the other one, but it wasn't happening. Maybe there is a lot more configuration that needs to happen. But overall, I find that Apache Kafka is a very useful tool that simplifies data transport, especially in a very complex landscape. And though this project scope doesn't include integrating Kafka with other tools, uh, it is known for a fact that it can integrate well with Apache Storm or Apache Spark Streaming or Flume. Definitely Kafka is one of the most important tools that will you need in your big data arsenal. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope you find this presentation useful and learn something about Kafka, how to use it, how it can fit in the world of big data. Thank you.